think Mexico should pay for it.
Well, you've said that a lot here.
Well, yeah,
Bill.
if you ordered one thing and you got served another thing, I think they should have to pay for it.
I think if a restaurant messes up my order, Mexico's going to pay for it.
You think every Mexican restaurant is funded by Mexico? Do you think that's a channel?
But I think if we can make them build the wall, we can make them pay for
Tacos?
a steak that I did not order.
What did you order, Bill?
Tots.
At a Mexican restaurant, you ordered tater tots?
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake that's on you, buddy.
Well, they brought me steak picante, and I hated it.
Steak picante? What's that exactly? That's just
Hot steak.
steak covered in peppers, or
I think it's a steak that has been egg battered, and then
no flour or anything?
it's an egg bath, and then
It's like French
Not
toast.
an egg wash.
It's like French toast for steak.
Yeah, it's egg bath, but then you then the flour you replace the flour which you would batter the steak in with
ghost peppers.
ghost pepper flakes.
ghost peppers. Ghost peppers will tear you up, guys. I don't know if you've ever touched one or
Well, the scariest part is you can't even see them. You look right through them when you see them, so you can get caught.
Yeah,
easy.
they don't exist. All of a sudden you'll be walking around and you'll be like, "Ow,
you just
and
walk
you
through
ate the
some
ghost pepper.
Yeah, you'll walk through its essence and it'll get in your mouth and then you're oh my god,
What?
Don't you dare fucking say it.
guys!
Howard?
We've been recording for a minute and 39
Oh
seconds.
my God. You got me talking shit about Mexico.
I'm sorry,
When
guys.
are we going to stop being fooled by this?
This sucks.
Look. I'm sorry, guys. Look, that's my fault.
We need to draw a line in the sand here.
Okay, well, there's the line. Hey, it's drawn in the sand. Next week, I swear to God.
Hey, you all get your hands out of my sandbox.
We're drawing a line in your sandbox.
Do not draw a line in my sandbox.
Listen, this whole beach thing you're doing, you're not fooling anyone.
Mahalo.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop it.
Well, before-
What is this? You're trying to, it makes you feel more relaxed when you've got a beach atmosphere going on?
I just found out my blood pressure is through the roof. So instead of working from the inside out, I'm trying to work from the outside in.
So you went in and busted up the girls' volleyball practice the other day and said, let's put some sand on the floor.
Yeah. I canceled practice. I said, ladies, sit down. I'm sanding the floor up.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Teacher's Lounge again. This is, of course, the podcast that's pertaining to issues relevant to the Hamilton High School community. I am your host, Howard Levis. You all know me as the head of the school newspaper now. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Hi, my name's Bill Crazy.
Hey, it might as well be.
Well, I mean, that's what obviously you guys have heard all the students talking about me. They call me Coach Crazy now.
Yeah.
Because I guess I've gone nuts.
Well, they have reason to believe. I'll say that.
Well, at least it's not poor old Coach Chester. Previous Coach Chester, child molester. Luckily, it's not that. At least my name doesn't rhyme with molester.
Thank God.
Thank God. That would have stuck way quicker than crazy.
Bill.
I guess I'm off. I'm feeling a little crazy this week because
You're off your meds.
I'm off my meds. I guess I'm off my meds. Anyway, Bill Cravy, former basketball coach, now track coach. Hello.
Hey guys, Sam Weatherman here. Still Department of Motivation. Had to pivot a little bit. Gave a couple nightmares last week. So if you're a kid on campus and you got problems, still come to see me, but make sure you eat your veggies in the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Is a veggie breakfast a normal thing?
Well, it should be.
Huh? All right.
Absolutely. You got to start off with those vitamins
Yeah.
and fiber.
Yeah, you need to eat uncooked broccoli first thing in the morning.
Absolutely. I'm eating a completely raw diet now.
I
Completely
thought you were eating
raw.
chicken.
Yeah, I am not a vegetarian. I'm eating a completely raw diet. I'm eating raw chicken, beef, and eggs for breakfast.
And for the last week since you started that, you've actually been spending every night in the hospital, right?
Yes, absolutely. Unrelated, but
No, I believe it's related.
Yeah, and if it's not related, thank God it is.
no,
you're there
it's,
anyway.
it's
'cause you've had
unrelated.
so much
I've
food
started
poisoning.
my raw diet. I feel very healthy. But I have been having some bouts of diarrhea, and again,
Unrelated?
they're unrelated, but I've been in the hospital for what they call severe old-timey diarrhea. Because they think it's going to
see.
go away, but for some reason it's just not treatable.
so
You got the
that's-
sods.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Old timey diarrhea. Because diarrhea back in the old days, it could kill you.
It
Yeah.
really could. I mean, like, those wagons were covered in diarrhea. Those that they were going from east to west in.
They
Yeah.
recovered.
And
Yep.
diarrhea.
Yeah.
Todd Padre, Women's Studies. That's the study of women, and I'm taught by my students.
Yes. You are a misogynist.
Recovering misogynist.
Recovering misogynist who teaches women's studies, but actually the students teach you.
That's right.
And a misogynist always felt a little unfair for you. It's
Yeah.
not like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I would say at best I'm an accidental misogynist.
Yeah, you're too stupid to really even know that you're being hurtful to women.
But the class has changed me.
I've noticed some pretty big changes. I noticed you stood outside and held the door open for every female student that came into school this morning. That was
That's
very
right.
kind.
You
You're
did
wearing-
close it before every male student
Yeah.
to make sure
And
that
said,
You
"Get
are-
it yourself."
I said, get it yourself,
You
sir.
are wearing a "Future is Female" shirt.
That's
does
right.
That you know what that means? Is that a purposeful choice? Did the students give you that, or
I don't exactly know, but I know it's good, and
Yeah.
I like alliteration.
Now,
I see.
I think this is the second shirt. You were wearing one yesterday that said "The future is snail mail."
Yeah. That one I thought was feminist, but apparently was not. It was about sending mail instead of electronically in the mail.
Yeah.
But, I'm a new man. The biggest change you guys haven't mentioned is my fiance, Steve.
Who has been sitting behind you
Who's sitting
for
behind
this
me.
whole recording?
I mean, I'm a misogynist, but Steve is a masseuse. He's massaging me right now. And I decided that the best thing I could do for women, the most feminist thing I could do,
Yeah.
was to stop being romantically interested in them.
okay?
Oh.
And you are not gay, right?
Well, I am now, right, Steve? Steve and I met. Steve and I met at the at Chuckle Madness. As you all know, I'm trying to get into the world of professional tickling competitions.
Right.
And Steve was a referee at Chuckle Madness, and we just hit it off, and well, sparks flew.
And has Steve said a single word to you since you met him, or has he just kind of stood by quietly?
I think Steve might be mute like my son.
Now, to be fair, your son is not mute. He just chooses not to talk to you.
He's deaf and chooses not to talk to me. That's correct.
That's true. So that's not mute. In fact, he's deaf.
That's right.
Yes.
He's deaf but speaks perfect English very clearly. And he refuses to speak to me.
Well, now that you're saying he speaks perfect English, I'm beginning to think he's not deaf.
I think he put me on mute. He just doesn't hear me.
Interesting.
I think he got some sort of future Black Mirror technology.
I see. Well, this is great. I mean,
Yeah.
Steve here, this seems to be, I mean, I did not think you were over your ex-wife at all, and this seems
Who?
to be a little too
Your ex-wife, she's the person you've been talking about very regularly for the last few years.
That you paint still and draw photos of and write letters to.
Well, due to the restraining order, I'm no longer allowed to paint her body.
That's an interesting caveat on a restraining order.
I agree, and
While
that's
close to her at
What's
all?
that?
While close to her?
Well, I
or-
tried to paint her from the distance, but they ended up looking like Pollocks. Sorry, Pollocks.
Jason Pollocks.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fantastic artist. he is.
Jason
He's so
Pollock
good.
is one of my top five.
One of the few
you
artists
know
from
his
this
work
town.
because you're in the Louvre now, right?
Yes, absolutely. He's right next to me.
You're covering the
famously-
Mona Lisa.
Yes, well, a painting of me that one of my students did. But yeah, we can call it my painting since it is a vision of me screaming as the devil at her. So I guess it is partially mine.
Now,
I don't know.
there's a lot of your students. You mentioned earlier that that some of your students are having more troubles, and in fact, their troubles are increasing the more they visit you and your motivational.
And in fact, you actually did a 2-day full weekend seminar with one of the clubs here on campus, right? Which club was it?
Yes, that was the Spanish club. It's
Right.
the largest club on campus. It's got the most kids, and that's what I was going for. I was trying to broaden my reach a little bit. Unfortunately, a lot of a lot of this is about death and rebirth, right? Killing your old self who was unsuccessful so that a new self can be born.
Right.
Well, I have a lot of kids right in that middle zone right now. We've definitely killed their past self,
Yes.
but we're waiting to see if they will reemerge.
I see.
And high school is about the time where you've fully formed your personality, so it's a good time to try to immediately shift it.
Absolutely.
So you've torn them down, but you have yet to build them back up.
And I'd
Right.
say that most of them are in a state that I would call catatonic.
Yeah, crisis. There's a real crisis with all of the Spanish club right
Yeah,
now.
well, we've got the cafeteria set up as sort of a danger zone. All the kids that I've been working with are quarantined.
And I'll
in
tell you
there.
what, it's very cute that someone painted a road on the hallway leading to it, and it says highway to the danger zone.
It is cute. I mean, the campus has really gotten behind the Spanish club. They can't talk to them, obviously, since they're all in catatonic
Like,
state.
I did see, I took a peek into the danger zone.
Yeah.
I walked the highway to the danger zone, and then
Yeah.
I took a peek in. And it does look almost like a war-torn area in there, like with some hospital beds, and there's children. These
It's
children
all
are
as
bad
if you're
off.
walking through the set of Children of Men.
Right.
Yeah. And
right.
with like a reverberating cough kind of happening every 15, 20 seconds or
Right.
so.
And, well, we're really hoping for some positive change to come out of that. You know what I mean? We've got a couple kids who have emerged, a couple painters. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? A couple people really expressing themselves that
Oh,
way.
so they've gone so crazy, they've been sort of painting masterpieces?
Yeah, well, one masterpiece. It's all sort of the image of me as a screaming red devil man. I don't know why this is the image
Yeah.
that everybody's seeing. Maybe it's because
It
of
does
the-
seem like a common thread.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been doing my lessons in the boiler room, and it gets pretty hot, and I am screaming, so I guess I could be a pretty
Right.
red-faced devil.
And
Well,
you
I
know,
take it as
you're
a
not-
compliment
yeah.
because the devil's just a hot angel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you know, I never thought of it
yeah,
that
the
way.
devil was the most beautiful angel, and God was jealous and kicked him out of heaven.
Yeah, the
that's
devil was a
that is-
beautiful bad
That
boy.
is in the Bible.
Wow, you guys know so much more about Christianity.
He
than
was
I
the
do.
most. Satan was the most beautiful angel. Hot, beautiful.
Sexy.
Yeah, Jesus said, "Who the hell is that? I want him gone." They made hell.
Jesus was like his super sweet 16, and he didn't like that the devil was so much hotter than him.
Wow.
Kicked him out.
And he had daddy kick devil right down to hell.
Yeah.
Huh, well, I guess I feel pretty good then.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that's going good for
It
you.
hasn't
It's
been.
not
I mean,
going
because
good.
you,
It's not.
You got called into the principal's office, which
Oh,
you
God.
it,
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, he's on the fence.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I'm on the fence. Absolutely on the fence. And that doesn't mean can't make a decision. It means that I am on the fence between losing my job and keeping it.
yeah, because you promised. What was your promise? at
I'm
the beginning
responsible
of
for the mental health of every student at this school.
And
And
right-
so
right
far,
now, it seems like one of the biggest failures of your lifetime.
well, some people have said that to me. Most of my students, actually. And,
At least with crazy limos, you were just ruining cars. Now you're ruining students' lives.
well, I wouldn't say we're ruining their lives. I think we're ruining about a year of their lives, something like that. You know, listen, I feel bad.
What
but,
have the
you know,
parents been saying that because their kids don't go home, they stay in the danger zone all night?
Right. Well, the parents are saying, can I get in? Can I see them? Can I spend some time at the school?
Right.
And again, the answer is a resounding no. You know, it is. They
By
are
who?
by me.
Okay.
By me. I stand at the front of the doors, or on the bridge there, and I.
The bridge to the danger zone.
Yeah, I stand on the
that's
bridge.
right. It is above water.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
is a
You dug-
flotilla,
yeah,
really.
you dug
Well,
a
it has
moat.
to be. It
You
has to
dug
be.
a moat.
Some of these kids have gotten so mentally sick that it's started to create physical problems, and we've really got to quarantine
Yeah,
this whole
you
thing.
put them on like a crazy island quarantine.
Yeah. Some of the kids are calling me Dr. Moreau, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me because I haven't done any of the animal stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
You're barely his size, and the little person that follows you around now doesn't look anything like that little monster.
Yeah, David, it looks nothing like the Moreau guy. It's so crazy. I have a TA now who's one of the students that I tried to, help through their problems, but anyway, he sees me as a deity now and won't leave my side. It's been really difficult.
But I have seen he does wash your feet a lot, and
He anoints them.
he's throwing down palm branches in front of you as you enter every room.
Yeah, well, he uses the same 3 branches and has to cycle them in front of my feet. But yeah, he's
You
a
keep
busy
him moving.
boy.
You keep
I
him
mean,
moving.
like, I don't want to say that you are dressed like Jesus right now, but you are very much dressed
like Jesus. Yeah,
right now.
you don't. It's okay. You can say it. It's something I'm sort of leaning into.
You're wearing a cheap, shiny $5 wig.
Yeah.
with a crown of thorns.
Yep, just like Jesus.
A lot of people don't know that Jesus did not have hair. He wore a wig.
Yeah, Jesus was a bald man, a bald Jew.
Which means the devil probably wasn't that attractive because Jesus
No, the
was
devil
quite
was very
ugly.
The devil was a 5.
Jesus is a 2. We all
Jesus
know
a
that.
2 is a low 2.
Every time I see those pictures of Jesus in church, that beautiful white man with the high cheekbones, I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Jesus was ugly. He had on a wig. He had no chin.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
well,
Howard, speaking of new helpers in your life, you got somebody that you've been working with lately.
I do, guys. I started a partnership last week with El Chapo, and he's really increased the newspaper distribution.
Notorious drug kingpin and murderer El Chapo.
Yeah, he's told me
On and off again relationship with being in prison.
Yeah, he has told me emphatically.
And that relationship is hot and heavy.
Yeah.
He is in love
Will
with
they,
prison.
won't they?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, they will. He is.
He's having sex with the
He's
prisoner.
having sex with a prison right now.
Premarital?
Well, they definitely haven't been married yet, so I would say it's
I hope prison's
premarital.
wrapping it up.
But anyway, while the means to the end are sort of less than positive, the end to that is actually has been wonderful. I want to go on record to apologize for last week, everybody.
We buried the lead on that one.
I let myself go, and
that
Cheetahman just happened to be in the room last week, and I let loose on him.
Going because you were by the end
It
of
was-
last week. You were an Alex Jones-esque screaming lunatic.
It was the I think it was
You got
being
into
confronted.
it with Marty Mountains.
Yeah.
You guys had a real a one-on-one.
He
you
was
tried to-
obviously lying. He was obviously lying. And honestly, while I don't agree with the sort of expression of my feelings towards him, I do agree with the passion with which I attacked a lead.
You are
know what I mean?
involuntarily crumpling that paper up in your hand.
I
right
am.
now.
It is voluntary. I'm doing this on purpose because
Okay.
if I don't do this, one of you guys is going to get something to the face. And listen, it has really helped me.
what to the face.
Something. Look around you. Look around you.
Okay, well, I see a few cinder blocks strapped up above us now.
I'm just saying. Would you prefer me crumple up this paper or cut the cord and let a cinder block
I
fall?
see a giant boxing glove attached to some sort of spring mechanism.
Yeah, it's a comical trap.
And then there's another one in the other corner of a nun who looks like she's ready to punch me as well.
Yeah, it's the same trap dressed up like a nun.
Well, I'm glad that me and you put our beef to rest. I mean, we obviously, the whole school knows and the entire town knows that after last week's
Oh,
episode...
shoot, that reminds me. I'm resting some raw beef right now.
Oh, no.
I'll get it afterwards.
Okay,
Sorry.
You're resting it.
I'm resting it, yes. Instead of cooking it and letting it rest, I took it out of the refrigerator.
And you let it sit and
I'm
get
bringing it to
more
room
raw.
temperature.
Right,
yes.
okay,
Right, yeah.
okay.
Ugh, cold beef, yuck.
Yucky.
You want some room temp beef.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the entire school and town knows that after last week's recording, me and you took it outside into the parking lot. The school
did.
parking lot. And we had 3 rounds of a fight.
Right, yeah. I appreciate...
Pretty no holds barred.
And I appreciate
cage
the work.
match.
I appreciate the work of the shop kids to set that ring up as quickly as they did.
Yeah, and I also want to give a shout out to Mankind for coming in and doing Sacco.
That's right. Mick Foley was here, and he did Sacco on both of us just for fun.
Because as our listeners know, last week, Cheetahman, my star runner on my track team,
He was exposed.
well, you.
An alleged cheetah dressed as a Jewish boy.
An alleged cheetah dressed as a Jewish boy. He was obviously a Jewish boy who was my best runner, not
Alleged.
a cheetah I met on the savannah when I was living there as an ostrich. But you, Cheetah was an attempt to protect me. You were screaming last week. Cheetahman came in here. You choked him out. And off came his disguise.
His little boy disguise.
His little boy disguise of those glasses with a nose
And a mustache.
and a mustache and a yarmulke came off, and he was exposed as an actual cheetah. And
Which really,
I mean,
I was behind you, and I was flabbergasted.
it shook you to your core.
I could not believe that young Jewish boy who was just running circles around kids
Because later that night we were planning on doing his bar mitzvah.
That's right.
I still wasn't convinced. I thought maybe it's just a boy who wears glasses and doesn't like his nose. But when that circumcised penis fell off, and I saw he was an uncircumcised, it was not a circumcised boy's penis, but an uncircumcised cheetah penis.
Yeah, that took me 6 weeks to make it Color Me Mine, that uncircumcised penis. I put it on the shelf and I would return every night, making a mold of an uncircumcised penis. It was obviously a mold of you-know-whose penis, Mr. Weatherman's.
Wow. What can I say?
I snuck in and I did a plaster of Paris mold.
So to mold a little boy's penis, you use Mr. Weatherman's.
That's right.
I knew I needed a circumcised small penis.
So he got one of me when I was asleep.
I plaster of Paris him.
I was asleep.
And
like
you were
I
plastered also.
I was plastered, and I plaster of Paris you.
I was asleep like I always am, face down on a table with a hole in it. And he was able to just come take a bucket full of plaster and hold it up.
I held it up.
Were you sleeping clothed or in flagrante?
La flagrante.
La flagrante, of course.
La flagrante, obviously French for in the nude. Anyway, you exposed him. He was immediately kicked out of the school. Well, after we had our no-holds-barred cage match where Miss Mankind, when I won, I was allowed back into the school.
The rules were set.
The rules were set by the principal.
Mid-cage match by the principal. He said, all right, if this is going to happen, which it looks like it is, holds are not being barred, we got to set up some stakes.
Yeah.
And he said... if
not your stakes, obviously, Mr. Weatherman. We're not going to set up your stakes.
Yeah, no, nobody wants those.
He said if Mr. Cravy wins, he gets to stay.
Yep.
And if Mr. Cravy loses, he has to leave.
Right.
There will be no consequences for Mr. Levis.
Thank God, because I'm a terrible fighter. You saw me.
Well, I think he knew that you had some dirt on him.
I'll say this: if he didn't then, he should know now. Henderson, I've got all the dirt in the world on you. I got enough dirt to dig 3 tunnels on you, bro.
Wow, that is a straight up threat. Which will be aired this week, and he will know. Well, luckily, I was allowed back into the school, and obviously my star track player is gone, so I don't know how I'm going to deliver on my promise, which was to promise the school that I will take the track team.
You've got 10 other kids. You've got 10 other kids on that team that you have neglected all year.
Yes, well, I'm taking it from worst to first and last to fast, and we all know that, all right?
I did walk in here. You were here a little early, and I got in, and you were ending a phone call, and you said, all right, I'll talk to you later, Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was...
well, that was obviously... I couldn't get a hold of Daryl Strawberry.
Yeah, you were talking to Daryl's Strawberries for a while.
Daryl's Strawberries, of course, the strawberry patch outside of town. Well, I was looking for some steroids.
So you went to the person who's a notable cocaine addict.
Steroids. I was looking for some steroids.
And you went to Daryl Strawberry, who's a notable cocaine addict.
Yes, and he did give me some cocaine. Obviously, I went to John Smoltz.
You went to Smoltz? You went to Smoltz after him?
I went from strawberry.
Were you trying to get mustache cream?
Well,
you were going for the smallest,
I went through all the players I know. Daryl Strawberry, John Smoltz, that guy who's got the mullet from Texas and he throws a mean fastball.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson. What's his nickname?
He is the big unit or the unit?
The unit. I called up the unit. David Justice I called. Fred McGriff. All of the
Crime Dog.
All of the early 90s Braves. But I did get a hold of Bonds, and let's just say I got some steroids and I'm giving it to my team. Let's just say that.
Let's say that,
and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We'll just leave it at I have steroids and I'm giving them to all my team.
Well, and if you were worried about Cheetahman being gone, I do want to say that I've been working with him a little bit, and he's not gone forever.
What do you mean?
Let's just say we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh, I think what he's saying is he put
Cheetahman's in the danger
water
zone
like an alligator, and if people fall out, Cheetahman eats them.
Hold on, Cheetahman's in the moat around the danger zone?
Exactly. Cheetahman is in the
just
moat around the
say.
danger zone.
Let's just say that.
If any parents fall into that
Make sure you
moat,
speak in code. Let's just say.
let's just say that if any parents fall into the moat, they'll be eaten by, again, let's just say a cheetah.
Well, it seems like this school has gone absolutely nuts.
I have a question. What's the food situation in the danger zone? Do you have any use for 200 pounds of warm sashimi-grade tuna?
Now, you said it's warm. Does that mean it's raw or not raw?
That means it is has been cooked by the sun, but not officially cooked.
Oh, yeah, I can use that.
Oh, that's
I
great,
went-
because I'm trying to unload a ton
Well, yeah,
of it.
I went by your poke store, and there was a lot of signs up in the front, a lot of signage, going out of business sale. Come get your fish as quick as you can.
But
We're
also a lot of
switching-
signage
Yeah.
bragging about the new toilet.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
the
for-
new
just-
toilet put us out of business.
You finally got a toilet at your store.
We pulled out all the stops, got one of those funny Japanese toilets.
Those are very funny.
That's the funniest toilets in the world.
Yeah. Now, they have a speaker on them, right, that plays old stand-up while you go to the bathroom?
Yeah, Rodney
Yeah.
Dangerfield.
You go to the bathroom, and it's I record over a lot of it, so it's I got no poo spect.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I get no perspect.
Yeah, and the jokes are the same otherwise.
And just a quick, are you making any money on the clearance sale in your restaurant?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a everything must go sign on a restaurant
Yeah,
before.
especially a fish restaurant.
I haven't looked at the numbers yet. So it's the jury is out on that, but just based on bodies coming into the restaurant, it's mostly the homeless.
Now, the jury really is out because you have been sort of had some lawsuits levied against you for the poke shop.
And
right?
the bodies really are coming in because it's also a funeral home at this point, right?
So the jury's out on you killing people with warm poke, but the bodies are in to the funeral.
Honestly, this is the craziest business I've ever heard of in my entire life.
I don't
me.
understand why you think that. I mean, what stinks worse than old fish? Dead people. The fish mask the smell of the dead.
And that's the title of the new funeral home, right? What stinks worse?
What stinks worse? And so you come in, and that's the first thing they ask you. And if you say old fish, they say, "Come on in. We'll store your corpses here."
Wow.
But we did have a bit of a debacle where in the middle of an open casket funeral, they realized they had switched a body with some poke.
Oh, my God.
And so somebody left my restaurant eating a grandpa with avocado, sesame seeds, and seaweed.
Which is funny because you were saying the funeral, it passed for a funeral, right? It was
No one
small
noticed.
man.
It passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tuna is 6 feet deep.
Yeah, because somebody said Grandpa looks beautiful as they were looking at just like a big pile of spicy tuna.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he died in a fire.
That would make no sense because it's uncooked.
What's that?
That would make no sense because it's uncooked.
Tell that to the bereaved.
Well, you fooled him and you
Yeah.
laid him to rest. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always hold your hand up as if to say, talk to the hand, and you say, talk to the bereaved all the time.
Hey,
Well, tell that to
talk
the
to the bereaved because the happy ain't listening.
Oh, Steve got a chuckle out of that.
Hey, that's the first sound I heard of you all your life.
Well, guys, it has been an eventful week, and we hope everybody's still hanging in there and not
despite
tuning
all-
us out. You know what I mean?
Despite all of us being on the chopping block, well, our podcast privileges were pulled. But we are sneaking into the lounge right
That's
now,
right.
Yeah.
obviously.
And
we bribed the janitor.
We did, and we actually locked in a really interesting guest this week. Honestly,
Yes.
I don't think any of us have had any time to actually sit down and chat with her.
Uh-huh.
She is the oldest senior here at the school, Miss Barbara Tasty. How are you doing today, Barbara?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here.
That's great. You know, and
Hello.
I did call you Miss.
Yeah.
I called you Miss Barbara Tasty
Yeah.
because you are quite a bit older than the rest of the students here.
I'm 45.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wow.
45
you're
and a half.
17, 18 years old.
Sure, yes, of course. Yeah, I'm several decades older than that.
Right. And how did that happen? Was it one grade you failed multiple times, or did you just have trouble with each
Did you
grade
take
along
each
the
one
way?
maybe 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Or?
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of how it usually happens.
Yeah.
When I was about 17, I was kidnapped. I lived in a basement for, I don't know, nearly 27 years.
Yeah,
and
wow.
when I got out, I was like, I'm gonna finish school right. Never
Wow.
got to go to prom.
You famously came back quick
Yeah.
from being roomed.
Oh,
that movie
yes.
Roomed.
It's been about 4.5 weeks.
You are so chipper. Your attitude. See, this is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Positive thinking.
I mean, I used to live in a dark room and eat dog food every day.
Dog food.
Yeah, and I still eat dog food because my digestive system can't really process any solid food. So, you know
Right.
what?
Wow.
If you got any of that raw meat, it would
What are
probably
we-
be just about the
what
same.
are we talking?
I'll
Are we
slurp
talking
it up.
pedigree, kibbles and bits?
Dry,
No.
soft.
Fancy
Dry
feast?
food.
Dry food.
Dry dog food.
Wow.
Very generic. Very generic dry dog food. I haven't been able to find the exact brand that my captor used
So
to
you've been
feed
looking
me.
for it.
And it,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sure.
the worst when you can't find the thing and you just don't know what it was.
When you
And
had
I
dog
never-
food somewhere and you're like, what was that dog food?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I never got to see the package, because it was
Ah.
just kind of tossed at me.
And were you in
fistful
utter
at a time.
darkness?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
That's
And this-
why my eyes are completely white. I have
Gray,
no
yeah, like
pupils.
gray, yeah, they're kind of like whitish grayed
Yes.
over.
Now, one
Yes.
of the things that would have hurt
beautiful.
my
Yes, thank
feelings,
you.
I'm not sure how you feel about
Sure.
this, was for the last 8 years, your captor plumb forgot about you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah,
Plum
I
forgot.
only got, and so did the police. I only got out because he died of natural causes and someone bought the property.
wow.
Yeah.
And before they found you,
Sure.
he was celebrated
Yes.
in the papers. Just they laid him to rest, had the whole military there.
Well, yeah.
Because he was actually a general in the armed forces.
Yes.
And he was a respected man.
General George
Betray us.
Smithers. Betray us. Well,
Betray us, right?
Yeah.
Well, he betrayed us, yeah.
Well,
Now, you say he's a respectful man. How did he treat you? Show you that same respect? Or
I would say, as far as captors go, he was great. He would he would sometimes read to me from one Reader's Digest from 1991, but only the articles about health.
Oh, so
just-
you didn't even know that The Simpsons had topped Cosby.
Well, I don't know what either of those things are. I can only imagine one's a building and the other one's a bigger building.
Oh.
And to that I say kudos.
Well, that I'll say this.
Yeah.
So you were gone for what was life in town like back when you were going to school here? What,
Oh gosh, it was a blast. I had so many buds at the school. You know when how everybody just throws a bunch of tin cans at their favorite friend?
Sure.
And you were throwing tin cans
Oh
at a
no,
friend?
I had tin cans just tossed right at me every Tuesday.
I mean,
Is
I
that
remember
still a
playing-
tradition? I haven't seen a tin can Tuesday in a while.
so you were kind of socially abused even before you were kidnapped.
Well, some people
Would
call
you-
it abuse.
Would you
know.
say the kidnapping was a relief?
Well, in a way, it was just nice to like have
structure.
structure and to be appreciated.
Right.
Yeah, because I rode a little bicycle in the basement. I powered all the power in the general's house.
Wow.
And he would always
You powered General Betrayus's house.
Oh yeah, I was the motor behind General Petraeus' house. And let me tell you, that man had a lot of electronics. I had to pedal hard and fast,
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
I remember he had one of the most incredible Christmas displays every single year.
Well, I only knew my only marker was every December I had to just pedal twice as hard.
Right.
So you knew when
'Cause
he was
you
saying
are-
that you had to. If I'm pedaling twice as much, that's because it's Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
you're-
Christmas.
you're-
My legs are gonna fall plumb off.
Your body it really reflects this past you've had because you're very buff. You obviously have the
Yeah.
wide eyes.
Yes.
You've also developed a little
horn?
A little horn that has a light on it.
Oh yeah, like an anglerfish.
Yeah, like a deep sea fish.
One of the
You're
bio teachers.
bioluminescent now.
Yes, isn't that wild?
It's wild.
Yeah, it's great. I prefer to be in the dark now. It just gets a little more comfortable
Can
for
we
me.
turn off the lights here for a second and just see how you shine?
Careful, I'll bite your fingers.
Whoa!
I won't. Whoa. See?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look, my
I
teeth
feel
are
like-
sharp like an anglerfish too.
Wow.
Jesus.
They're just,
You've got a lot of traits
gonna-
of an anglerfish.
I'm gonna. Todd, do you mind if I get a little piece of poop out of your litter box there?
It's a sandbox. I said don't touch it.
I just want to feed her a little piece.
Oh
of
my
poop.
God! Look at that.
Take
She's
a
got her
little
head
bit.
in the fishbowl. She's completely fine underwater.
Wow.
well,
Yeah, take a little piece of poop if you want to. I don't care.
I'm gonna feed this little piece of poop to you. Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow.
Devoured that.
Yeah.
well, when you get something soft, you got to eat it right up. That's what I
well,
always
let's
said
turn
in
the
the
lights
basement.
back on real quick.
Now let me ask you this.
Sorry,
Oh.
sorry. It's an abrupt flash
just
of
us.
light.
Whoa.
It's
It's
very
just us,
frightening
Barbara.
for me. Okay.
It's just us.
Of
Now,
course it is. This is fun.
One of the hardest parts of high school is just you're with a lot of people who are like just finally going through their trying to figure out their sexuality and all that.
Sure.
What's
Death,
dating
rebirth.
like for you right now?
Oh boy. Well, it is quite a revelation. You mentioned discovering your sexuality. For a very long time, I thought I was only attracted to corners.
Really? Corners like of a room.
Yes, like one particular corner. They had to pry me out of that basement with the jaws of life because my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I will say, actually,
Chad is the
yeah,
cor- yes, east west.
Sorry, northeast.
I actually-
Northeast was your
there
boy-
were 4 of them. My baby was east west.
I
tell you
actually
what.
saw you sitting with some I'll call them disinterested students at lunch the other day.
Sure.
Showing them
That's a welcome change to what you usually call them.
but I saw you sitting with these students and you were showing them an album of photos that were of you and the corner of a room. It was a sort of a relationship retrospective between you and a corner.
Yeah, well, we went on a romantic vacation. They wouldn't let me take the basement corner because it's a foundational
Right, it's hard
element
to-
of the house. And as you know, they sold that house to Martha Stewart. She owns that house now.
She does.
and kept your basement as it is.
Yes, because she said just in case.
She's coming for you.
Well, you
Better watch out for Martha.
and so I did meet another corner recently.
Congratulations.
That's the corner I went on that vacation with. We went to Niagara
Oh.
Falls.
Wow.
Well,
that's
how much did a
special.
plane ticket for a corner cost?
Well, guess what? Free, because there's no precedent.
The airline was so confused. They said just bring
They
it
said
on
it's a
later.
piece
I
of
heard
luggage,
that-
and I
yeah.
demanded to
I
pay for
heard
a
they
ticket.
said it's luggage.
Yeah,
I
and
heard they kicked some women in leggings off and put the corner on.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, the corner was wearing a full tux. That's how he prefers to travel.
Well, that's how you fly.
Finally.
Yeah.
Oh, finally.
I'll let a male corner on a plane any day before I let a female in leggings on. I'm sorry, Todd, that was wrong.
I learned that is not okay to say. Women can dress in a way that makes men horny. And that's their right, and we shouldn't be allowed to stop them just because we can't control ourselves. And I learned that, right, Steve? Steve looks upset for some
Steve
reason.
looks very
Go
upset.
play in the sand for a little, Steve.
Now, you are out, and that has got to feel great. You are
yeah.
out. You're back in school.
Yeah.
You are
And
now
doing
an
well.
anglerfish.
You're doing well in school.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm just trying my best. I'm really eager to go to college next year.
Occasionally, James Cameron comes and looks at you in a submarine. But that's really...
Yeah, he drives. It's like a duck tours thing where he drives his submarine on
Yeah.
land into
Full
the
of-
school.
Yeah, full of his very wealthy colleagues.
Yes.
It's some kind of gimmick. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it must have been devastating that script you worked so hard on, Unbreakable Barbara Tasty, was not makeable.
I don't think it's not makeable. I think maybe it just wasn't the time.
Well, it's not makeable anymore because he since turned it into Avatar. right? So that's
Yeah,
that's
the
got to sting.
Unbreakable Barbara Tasty, a simple story about a bunch of blue people who live in the forest.
Yes.
And none of them are even called Barbara Tasty.
Right.
It's more of a subtext thing. And
I
then
initially
a bunch-
thought this was an Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt thing.
No. I
almost
honestly,
like-
I hate that show. I don't believe it. I find it to be just tremendously a stretch.
Right.
But in the Breakable Barbara Tasty, let me tell you, those blue people, they've got tails, and boy, are they sexy.
Interesting.
It's almost
I
like you
agree.
needed your creative outlet for that, and you invented this interesting world, but still had a very, very subconsciously something that was really bugging you, and the only way you could get that out was the title of the movie.
I think the title just explains what happens.
Yeah.
So a lot's been going around, going on at school recently.
yeah.
Oh, it's been going around too.
Yeah.
A lot's
Wrap
been
it
going
up,
around.
kids.
I've got that
Oh, boy.
diphtheria that was going around.
That's right.
And do you find that you, coming from a
That doesn't bear really
Yeah, move on,
exploring
move on, move on.
anymore.
Yeah,
Just
no.
we all.
Everybody had
Everybody
explosive
has
diarrhea as if they were in the
diphtheria.
1800s. It wasn't a big deal.
And it's just like we've already delved deep into that. I didn't think it was still a thing we wanted to talk
Obviously, a lot of people caught that cirrhosis, which I didn't think was.
Yeah, I didn't think it was contagious.
Me neither.
But if you get close enough to someone,
Yeah, you can
can
get
catch the
cirrhosis.
cirrhosis.
Sorry, does anybody want a chicken strip?
Nuh-uh. Those seem to be battered but not cooked.
Correct.
Oh, so that's chicken picante.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it is. I don't really cook Mexican a lot, so. But yeah, that sounds about right. It is battered in egg and left raw, so I guess that's chicken picante.
God, I love chicken picante. I'll take a bite.
Okay.
Ow! I told man!
Oh, I should have said there's ghost peppers on these.
Woo! I couldn't even see that on there. Whoa! My taste buds are burn up.
I cannot eat. I can't drink water. It burns my mouth.
Water burns your mouth. What do you drink then?
Just my own pee-pee.
Oh,
Pee-pee.
no. Just your own pee-pee. Wow.
You do it long
I
enough.
did. I was walking out to the track the other day, and I saw you pee in your own mouth, and it was really a sight. And
What a balancing act.
Yeah, well, I have I went down to the shop class. I made a device. You know, you can. It's kind of a funnel. It just helps it get on
Yeah.
up there. And you live in a basement for 27 years.
Yeah.
You learn to do some fun things with your pee-pee.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a funnel, but I mean, your craftsmanship is pretty good. It's a funnel, but it looks like a crazy straw.
Oh well, yeah. Thank you. It took me a long time.
It's fun. It's a funnel. Capital FUN.
Now, last
Fun.
Tuesday was Bring Your Parents to School Day.
Yeah.
What did you do for that? Are you still in touch with your parents?
Oh no, they
sorry for not
they
knowing.
died while I was
so
in.
sorry.
Well, I was in there for a very long time, and I was a
sorry.
child of older parents. When
I
I was
understand.
17, they were already both in their early 60s. So
And they
unfortunately passed away.
sorry.
Yeah,
to
but
hear
they
that.
Thank you.
after your disappearance, they adopted almost a week later. It was almost
Yeah.
as if they put you there.
Oh yeah, they actually. What I have learned since getting out is they just had a lovely time.
Right.
While I was in that basement.
Interesting.
Right.
They adopted a beautiful girl from China, and they just did so much traveling. And my dad learned how to ride a unicycle. It was almost like they didn't know I was gone.
Yeah.
Which is so nice for them.
Or almost that they had maybe orchestrated the kidnapping and because they wanted to get rid of the one they had to get a new one.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, there was some
no.
suspicion, but it was unbelievable. It was unprecedented. The state actually, the state asked itself if it was going to press charges, and it said no.
Well,
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I'm glad that nobody pressed charges. 'Cause I think my parents did not do this on purpose. It was my very own parents brought.
Sorry, could you tell me? Do you remember a lot from the day when you were kidnapped? Can you tell us that story?
Oh, yeah.
Just explicitly. This is off the record, just tell us what happened that day.
Oh, I would love to. It was a positive memory up until the very end.
Okay.
So it was prom, actually.
Right.
I had just...
Prom 1990? Was that it? 91?
Yes. Prom 1990. And I had a wonderful date. This lovely gentleman I met behind the Stop and Shop called... did anybody ever meet Big Larry? He was sort of a town figure, so I was very honored to be asked by him because none of the
paints
kids
murals
asked
around
me.
town, and people pay him in bush light.
Sure. Yes, exactly. So he was the first. He was the first one to ask me to prom, so I had to say yes to him.
You didn't have to.
Well, you know.
He definitely wasn't a student at the time, and it was likely it would have been a strange thing
Big Larry
to bring.
wasn't a student when he asked you to prom?
No, he wasn't. That's why I was so flattered. You know, you're 17 at the time, a grown man who just...
A big man,
a
too.
very big man. That's why his T-shirt was always so little. But, that was
Midriff.
cool at the time. It was the 90s.
Midriff.
Everybody was wearing a midriff.
So you bring Big Larry home for prom photos. Your
yeah.
parents, I assume, go, okay, this is enough.
No, we actually never got into the photos. Big Larry picked me up for prom at 9 a.m.
Early.
The day of prom.
Okay. A little early.
You got to get there early. That's when all the sex happens, is what I heard. I was very eager to. I was a kid. I was just horny as all get out, ready to have sex.
I used to
for
go
the
to prom
first
early
time.
because I was afraid the juice would run out.
Yeah.
Guess it's different.
So,
The juice being OJ?
Yeah, I thought he'd run out before I got a chance to see him. OJ was a big fixture
This
in my
was
high
before
school.
the trial when OJ would go to every prom.
And the juice would avoid people. He would run out on you all the time.
And pretty quickly.
Well, he's fast.
I loved all those. Well, because we're all about the same age.
Honestly,
that series of prom photos where I felt like every third prom photo, OJ was just the third one. Just holding a little boy.
He, actually, I've never admitted this. He actually killed my prom date.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a brush.
How did that happen? I remember that.
no.
Your prom.
Well, you went to prom
date
with Ron
left her
Goldman.
I did. But
anyway, so you went to, at 9 a.m., you're trying to go to prom with Big Larry.
He pulls up in the most beautiful limo I've ever seen, all white, tall,
Tall limo.
a very tall limo.
Yeah, I've driven one of
those
those.
white, tall
White.
limos that house painters like.
I used to
don't know if
drive
that's a
tall
limo.
limos.
He rolled up
it's a
on a
limo.
ladder?
Oh, yes.
So Big Larry showed up to your house carrying a ladder.
Yes.
Which has plenty of space for two, absolutely.
Well, exactly. And I thought, well, gosh, how lucky am I to be dating a fully grown man in a tiny little T-shirt driving around a ladder.
Yeah.
And I got right on top of that ladder.
Yeah.
We went right to the center of town,
Right.
where, of course, Larry traded me to General Petraeus for $45. And that was that.
Wow.
And I
$45.
well, it was a long time ago. It was that $45 back then.
Oh, yeah, with
91.
inflation, that's about
$90,
$10,000.
$80 now. Yeah.
This was pre-Clinton economy.
Well, yeah,
This
yeah.
was the HW
Those are the days.
economy.
So I said, well, hey, what's going on? And then, he
So
said,
your parents weren't involved at all?
no, they were at the store the whole time.
The store?
From 9
The
a.m.?
Stop and Shop?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
they were. They both.
Where
they
you
spent a
initially
long-
met Big Larry.
Yeah.
So there could have been
Yeah.
a crossover there.
collusion.
I don't
Yeah.
know if this is going to hurt your feelings.
I bet it
But-
won't.
I remember that prom. Big Larry went with Gwen Erickson, and they were crowned prom king and queen.
Yeah, he did come to prom.
Oh. Sure. That's
my
just
God.
funny. He
This
told me.
seems like it's hurting your
Oh, my
feelings.
God, your light just went out.
No.
Oh, my God.
My feelings aren't hurt.
Wait, and,
Gills are kind of drying up.
and your teeth are filing down to normal.
It's
It
my
seems
God.
like your hurt feelings are turning you human again,
Oh, my God.
or less weird.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh, my
told
God.
me-
You don't look
you're,
human.
You're transitioning into... Wow.
well, Big Larry just told me. He told me he'd wait for me and that he never loved anybody else. And I've been.
And he classically loved fish.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh my
he-
God, you're turning back into a lady.
I don't
no.
know
Were
if
you
know-
supposed to be kissed before a certain time?
I was supposed to be-
You'd stay a fish?
Yes, I was supposed to be kissed before my 46th birthday.
Oh, no.
And
No.
Well,
And-
right now, Big Larry is on tour. He's on the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. We can see when he's coming through town. Maybe you could try to kiss
it's
him.
Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy, and Big Larry now.
That's right. I wasn't suggesting that Larry the Cable Guy is Big Larry.
No.
of course not.
What is
Of
what
course
is
not.
Big Larry's catchphrase again?
Oh, it's all that spaghetti.
Oh, that's
I believe
spaghetti.
that's what it was when I first met him, because he was just always
Is he
carrying
still
around
doing
a
all that
bucket of
spaghetti?
spaghetti.
Yeah, he does a pretty anti-Italian stand-up set, which compared to the other guys on the tour is the least offensive, I would say.
It's funny. It's actually, I mean, the structures of the jokes are really funny. It's like he'll complain about something that Italians do and then
Yeah.
tack on, and all that spaghetti.
Yeah.
So it's like he's saying, this is a thing I hate about
His
Italians,
biggest gripe-
and all that spaghetti.
He says all the terrible things, but he mainly hates how much spaghetti
Yeah.
he makes.
Well, he's not wrong. It's too much, if you ask me.
I mean, he does have a point.
yeah, every
mean,
Italian
Barbara, it's 2017. You can't go around making stereotypes about cultures that
Well,
way.
you know
Yeah.
what? Last time I lived in the world, you could just throw a pot of boiling water at anyone you wanted because of the way they looked.
That's
so
true.
I think the PC police have just really ruined a lot of
Yeah.
They're not called the PC police anymore either. It's the Geek Squad.
things. Oh,
You have really great, strong opinions for only being out of your hole for 4 weeks. I'm so proud of you. You really
Yeah.
seem to come back to current times and really have adjusted.
Now, let me ask
I
you
don't
It's
know.
sort
this.
of like a reverse Beauty and the Beast. Or no,
Well, yeah. Wait,
No,
I
it
think
is
what you're
it's
suggesting
Beauty and-
is she's an ugly beast right now.
right, yes. You, what happened? So you didn't kiss,
Sure.
so you didn't fall in love by the time the last rose petal fell? Was that a thing?
that's a Beauty and the Beast thing. But what happened with me was I stayed in love with Big Larry past my 46th birthday.
Right,
and
okay.
that's all.
You didn't find true love.
I did. Well, I
before.
found true love,
And
but
you're
he
now
stayed
a
on the.
nerdy older woman
Now I'm
versus a walking, talking fish.
Yes, and I much preferred
Okay.
being
Now
a fish.
we figured it out.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a mirror? I would love to see what I look like.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
mirror on the wall over there.
Oh, that's great. How convenient.
Yeah, you just kind of walk up to it and you say, mirror, mirror on the wall,
Yeah.
what do I look like?
Okay,
to it.
mirror, mirror on the wall.
Who's the ugliest of them all?
Who's the ugliest of them all?
You are.
Oh, well, good.
So you can see you can see the face of Ruben Studdard saying you are.
Now, when do I get to just see in the mirror?
Oh,
It's
you
doing
wanna
a
see
lot
what
of
you look
talking.
like.
I just want to see what I look
Ruben.
like now that I'm not a fish.
Ruben,
This is my sorry for 2004.
Ruben, please.
What is 2004?
It was a year between the date you disappeared and today.
Oh,
In fact, right in the middle.
Oh, okay. So right around the time I was first starting to just sprout my fish wing, my
That's the thing on your head is a fish wing.
yeah,
Yeah, fins.
flippers,
Oh.
fins.
Finn.
But yeah, Ruben, would you let her see a photo of herself? Or a photo?
Ruben, show her a
Show her
photo of herself.
Here you go.
Oh no. Oh, I don't like this at
Thank you,
all.
judges.
He thinks he's on American
Oh,
Idol
this
still.
is terrible.
I actually think that mirror plays clips from Ruben Studdard's run on American Idol.
Oh, I see.
I don't actually think anything's a unique.
Yeah, can you hold on
Grace.
for 1 second, Barbara? We have to
Sure.
figure out what's going on with this mirror.
Just sort of soak in what your picture looks like for a second.
yes, sure.
see-
I could do this.
What?
I don't think I belong in Hollywood.
Jesus, Ruben. This is.
Ruben.
Again, I don't
Ruben,
think
can
he's
you hear
responding to us. I don't think
Ruben
he's
Studdard,
responding
Can
to
you
us.
hear us, or are these just clips? Ruben.
Well, that seems pretty mean, Simon Cowell.
Yes.
Pretty mean.
I think it's just clips.
Now, Barbara, you seem pretty disappointed about what you look like.
Yeah, I just last time I saw myself as a human, I was an enormous 17-year-old girl with with just the most acne you've ever seen.
You were Big Barbara.
Yes. Yes, I was. I've been really trying to avoid that nickname since I've seemed to have shaken it after I became Basement Barbara. But I was Big Barbara,
Right.
and I liked Big Barbara, and then I liked Anglerfish Barbara, and just this new Barbara, this fit,
Hold on.
pale new
Oh, no.
Barbara.
You're getting upset. You're turning. You're turning.
You're turning.
Now, you're a beast.
Yeah, you're a beast. You're a beast.
Jeez, I don't get this fairy tale at all.
Yeah, this is so confusing, Barbara.
You're making this confusing, Barbara.
Are you a beast now?
I'm a beast.
Wow.
You got emotional
Barbara,
and you turned
maybe-
into a beast.
Let's try this, Barbara.
Barbara.
Now, this corner over here, it's not your boyfriend corner, but do you find it attractive?
No, all I want is a beautiful woman who I think is too young for me.
Barbara, have you ever run track?
No, but I used to run back and forth across the basement all the time to pass the hours.
So
I
short
was-
distances.
Yeah, sprinting.
Have you ever thought of maybe trying out for the track team?
Sure.
Did you ever, when you were running back and forth, hurdle over anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would jump over that bicycle I used to create power all the
my
time.
God.
Wow. And
This could be perfect.
did you ever, by any chance, happen to hand a like sort of cylindrical
Yeah.
object off to?
Yes, to the ghosts in the basement.
You handed off a baton to ghosts?
all the time.
Paper
It was the
towel?
only thing that kept them occupied.
Shit.
Now, this is crazy. But did you ever hold a heavy ball between your chin and shoulder and spin in circles and then throw it?
All the time.
Really?
I made my dog food into a ball and I threw it against the window to try to get anybody's attention.
Well, have you ever... Did you ever disguise yourself as if you were inside of a principal's office to help get secrets for a certain publication?
Yes!
You did!
Yes, I did that. One day I got out of the basement.
Really?
And I was allowed to just spend one day in a principal's office and I went right
You had
back.
a kidnapping Rumspringer.
Yes! It was too scary. I came back.
You chose to go back.
Yeah, I missed my corner.
Oh, that's Stockholm there. Classic Stockholm. Not the
Ah.
syndrome. The city.
Well, I hope you like your new form as a beast, Barbara.
I like
Yeah,
it.
because
Okay,
honestly,
good.
it sounds to me like you could potentially be very useful to at
us.
least two of us in the room.
Barbara, do you like the taste of old fish?
Is it the same as disgusting dog food?
I think it could be, yeah.
I would love some old fish. The more rotten, the better.
Oh,
It
you're
seems
gonna
like
love
Mr.
Pokey.
Weatherman and Barbara here could pig out at your restaurant and maybe get you out of debt.
I'll pay top dollar.
Really?
I've never seen a deal I wouldn't take.
Well, something we like to do at the end of every episode, Barbara, is we like to take a look at our vision boards and
Yeah.
see some goals that we are setting for ourselves.
I could start today because I'm seeing now that my newspaper, while it's getting some traction, my vision board has said that I would like to get national circulation for the school paper, and I don't think we're going to reach national. We are getting some traction, but I do think that if nothing else, I think I can probably get enough information about this people in the higher up positions at this school to maybe leverage a bribe or two.
You have a picture of
WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks.
I have a
guy.
picture of Julian Assange because I think that might be my ticket to keeping my job for
What
the
a
rest of
hero that guy is.
He's a good guy.
What a good guy.
Who's that other good guy who's living in Russia?
Snowden.
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 Good
Good guy.
What a good guy.
But anyway, so I think my plan for the next week is to keep pulling at those threads of the sweater, hoping that I can unravel it to the ground and keep myself safe.
Yeah. I've obviously got a picture of Chipper Jones and his cell phone number. I'm going to be calling him. I obviously found some roids from Bonds, but I want to get a backup just in case.
Atlanta Braves third baseman Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones.
Last week my goal was to let my ex-wife know that I'd made some changes and plan the funeral of the man that died when I was tickling him. I was able to plan that funeral. Unfortunately, the man was eaten and replaced with fish. So my condolences, but if you got a problem with that, talk to the bereaved. For next week, Steve and I are going to be eloping in Las Vegas, and so
Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, we're going down to Mexico, and we're going to get married in Las Vegas, and what happens in Las Vegas, you can talk about anywhere.
That's true.
That's right. Well, looking over here at my vision board, my vision board is a television today, and it is looping.
Television board.
It is looping One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because that is exactly what I need. I need a bunch of healthy mental patients.
Yeah.
And I need to change that cafeteria from a simple, sanitarium to, I don't know, a thing where a big Indian guy crushes the window and everybody gets out.
I think you're missing one part of that, which is the main character, which I'm guessing is you, gets killed at the end of that movie.
Yeah. Well, all I know is that at the end of this, someone's going to need a lobotomy. And I'm hoping it's not me. I'm hoping it's a bunch of the kids, but we'll see.
Oof. Well,
wow. Well, we're in bad shape.
Barbara, what's on your vision board?
I'm a beast. So my major goal is to track down Big Larry, chop his head off before I stop being a beast, and then get on that track field and win states.
God, I really want you to be on the team, but I just got burnt with a Jewish cheetah.
Well, I mean, she is an enrolled student.
Because I feel like if you start crying, who knows what you'll change. You might change into a goddamn slug and lose the race.
Okay, that's anti-feminist. I've told women if you start crying, you're going to become a slug, and I have learned that is anti-feminist.
It doesn't bother me because I have not been in the world since this new wave of feminism.
Oh, you're going to be yelled at for saying almost anything for a while.
I've been waiting to get a pot of boiling water thrown on my head, and honestly, I'm disappointed it hasn't happened yet.
Well, good.
Thank you! Thank you!
Steve,
what's your problem?
Now, what am I going to soak my feet in, Steve?
Thank you, Steve!
What? Steve's walking away.
Oh, Steve, come back!
Steve just stuck his tongue out at you.
Oh, what an
my
Italian!
God, you
What a
stuck your tongue
dirty
out. Well, hey,
Italian.
Steve.
Oh my God! This is worse. This is disgraceful. This is worse than the middle finger.
Steve just pulled his pants down and showed you his whole
I
butt.
showed you a moon.
You're mooning me? Oh, well, how about this, Steve?
Oh, my God. Steve just threw a court summons at you.
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ. No,
no.
well, Steve, you'll see me in court. Look at me, Steve.
Grabbing Steve by both cheeks, pulling his face close, his butt wide.
It's tough to tell with
See
Steve.
you in court.
Just said I'll see you in court right to Steve's asshole.
Yeah, it is. Well, guys, this has been a very enlightening week. We're very happy to have had Barbara Tasty here on the
Smart week.
Come back here, Steve.
Yeah.
Get your ass over here.
You know,
You
hey,
do not
we're
do
gonna
Todd
handle this.
like that.
We're gonna handle this. We're gonna handle Steve. We're gonna.
in the ring
But
out
until
the parking lot.
but until the end, until
calling
next
you out
time,
in the ring.
I'll just say this, everybody. Until next time,
Steve is coming down from the rafters.
No! He
Step
fell.
up.
Stay flippy.
Stay flippy.
Class is out and the cold is on. I got a couple things on my chest to get off. Give some slack and pour me a cup of that joy. Welcome to the